Welcome everyone to the channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like there's an unseen force trying to send you messages or warnings, but you're not sure what to do with them? Maybe you've experienced a sense of knowing and intuition that something is coming, or even a sudden thought that changes the course of your decisions. These moments can feel mysterious, and often it's hard to know how to interpret or act on them. Well, you're not alone, and today we're going to dive into an important topic that can help you understand these feelings' divine messages. In this video, we'll explore the concept of divine messages and how they can play a significant role in helping us recognize and navigate important situations in our lives. Divine messages are not just random thoughts or coincidences. They are subtle, often unseen signs and guidance that come from a higher power, the universe, or our own deeper consciousness. These messages can show up in various ways, through dreams, gut feelings, synchronicities, or even unexpected encounters that seem to carry a deeper meaning. Understanding these messages is key to navigating life with greater clarity and purpose. Now, you might be wondering, why is it so important to pay attention to these divine messages? Well, divine messages often serve as warnings or guidance that can help us avoid dangers, make better decisions, and understand the changes that are happening or about to happen in our lives. They are like breadcrumbs leading us toward the right path when we might be confused or uncertain about what to do. Whether it's a warning about a relationship, a career move, or an inner imbalance that needs attention, recognizing and interpreting these signs can help us take the right steps in our lives. These divine messages can show up in many forms. Intuition, for example, is one of the most common ways divine messages make their presence known. It's that sudden gut feeling that tells you to go in a certain direction or avoid a particular situation, even if you don't have all the facts. Other times, divine messages might come through dreams. Many people experience vivid dreams or recurring symbols that seem to have a deeper meaning and can guide them in real life. Synchronicities or meaningful coincidences are also a form of divine messaging. When things seem to align perfectly or when events happen at just the right time, those might be signs from the universe nudging you towards something important. Why is it important to understand these messages? Because they allow you to align with your higher self and navigate challenges more effectively. They help you make decisions that are in harmony with your true purpose. When we ignore or dismiss these messages, we might find ourselves making choices that lead to confusion, stress, or regret. But when we open ourselves up to divine guidance, we create a life that feels more connected, meaningful, and purposeful. Throughout this video, we'll explore how to identify these divine messages, how to recognize the warnings they bring, and how to apply them in your daily life. Understanding the role of these messages can empower you to live more intentionally, to make decisions with confidence, and to embrace change as part of your spiritual journey. Now, before we dive deeper into today's topic, I'd like to ask you to like this video if you find the subject of divine messages intriguing. If you think your friends or loved ones would benefit from hearing about how to recognize and understand these divine signs, please share this video with them. And of course, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty of exciting and insightful videos coming your way on spirituality, personal growth, and how to lead a more fulfilled life by tapping into your inner wisdom. Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive into the world of divine messages, how they show up in our lives, and how we can start using them to create positive change. To understand divine messages, we must first define what they are. Divine messages are signs or guidance that come from the unseen world or from universal energies. They can manifest in many different ways, but their purpose is always to guide, warn, or offer insight about the path ahead. These messages come from a higher source, whether you consider it the universe, the divine spirit guides, or your higher self. Regardless of the source, these messages are designed to provide clarity, offer direction, or signal something important in your life that requires attention. Divine messages are not always obvious or easy to interpret. They may come in forms that we don't immediately recognize or understand. They may appear as subtle whispers, feelings, or experiences that don't necessarily fit into our rational understanding of the world. However, once we learn to tune into these messages, we start to recognize the profound ways in which they guide us toward a more aligned life. Divine messages are often designed to be subtle and gentle, as their purpose is not to impose but to guide. When we are tuned into the universe, we start to notice these messages, which can appear in many forms. These signs are intended to help us make better decisions, avoid unnecessary obstacles, and embrace opportunities that may lead us closer to our true purpose. Let's take a closer look at the different forms divine messages can take and why they're important in guiding us through life. Forms of divine messages. Divine messages come in various forms, and each form offers different insights depending on the situation at hand. Some of the most common forms include prophetic dreams, strong intuitive feelings, random signs, and strange events. These forms of divine messaging are often interwoven with our daily experiences, and recognizing them requires awareness, sensitivity, and an open mind. Prophetic dreams. One of the most well-known forms of divine messages is through dreams. Prophetic dreams, or dreams that seem to offer insight into future events or situations, have been recognized across many cultures and spiritual traditions. These dreams often come with vivid imagery or emotions that feel powerful and meaningful. Prophetic dreams might reveal answers to questions you've been contemplating, provide warnings about a situation or relationship, or offer clarity on an issue that has been unclear in your waking life. These dreams are considered messages from the spiritual realm, guiding us toward the right choices, or showing us things that may be hidden from our conscious mind. While prophetic dreams are often profound, they don't always come with obvious meanings. Sometimes the meaning of a dream might only become clear after time passes, or when a particular event occurs that makes the symbolism more apparent. The key is to pay attention to the emotions and symbols that arise in your dreams, and to reflect on how they may relate to your waking life. Strong intuitive feelings. Another significant form of divine messaging is through intuition, those gut feelings or sudden bursts of insight that arise seemingly out of nowhere. Intuition is the ability to know something without the need for logical reasoning or explanation. It is often described as a sense of just knowing, or an inner voice that provides clarity when we are uncertain. These intuitive messages are a form of guidance from the universe, helping us make decisions or recognize truths that may not be apparent on the surface. Intuition is powerful because it bypasses the logical mind and taps into a deeper level of awareness. For example, you might suddenly feel uneasy about a person or situation without any clear reason why, and that feeling of discomfort could be a warning sign. On the other hand, you might have an overwhelming sense of peace or assurance about a choice you're about to make, and that's your intuition aligning with divine guidance, confirming that you're on the right path. Intuitive feelings can also come through as gut instincts, such as suddenly knowing that you should take a different route or avoid a specific decision. Random signs. Appearing in life. Divine messages can also come through random signs that appear in everyday life. These signs can take many forms, such as seeing repeated numbers like 1111 or 333, encountering meaningful symbols, or having synchronistic events that seem too coincidental to ignore. These signs are often the universe's way of getting your attention and prompting you to pause, reflect, and consider what might be unfolding around you. For example, you might repeatedly see the same symbol or number sequence during a specific period of your life. It may appear on license plates, clocks, phone numbers, or even in your dreams. These recurring signs often have meaning and are meant to guide you or reinforce something you need to focus on. Similarly, you might encounter a word phrase or image that seems to pop up in unexpected places, serving as a subtle nudge from the universe to pay attention to an important aspect of your life. Strange events. Sometimes divine messages come through strange or unusual events that defy normal expectations. These events may seem like coincidences, but when viewed in a broader context, they can reveal patterns or insights that are essential for your growth. You might experience a series of events that seem to be guiding you toward a particular decision path or change. These events can feel uncanny or even miraculous, and they often leave us wondering if there's a deeper purpose behind them. For example, you might encounter a person at just the right moment who offers you a piece of advice that changes your perspective. Or you might find yourself in a situation that, while challenging at first, eventually leads you to something much better. These strange events may appear random, but when you reflect on them, you may realize that they are part of a larger divine plan unfolding in your life. Why? These messages are important. Recognizing and understanding divine messages is crucial because they provide us with the guidance, warnings, and insights we need to navigate life's challenges. Divine messages help us make the right decisions, identify potential risks, and seize new opportunities. By tuning into these messages, we align ourselves with our higher purpose and the flow of the universe, which ultimately leads to a more fulfilling and aligned life. Divine messages serve as warnings when something in our life isn't in alignment with our true path. For example, a sudden intuitive feeling of discomfort about a particular situation could be the universe's way of signaling that we need to step back or reassess our choices. Similarly, prophetic dreams or strange events can provide insight into risks that we may not have considered with our logical mind. By paying attention to these warnings, we can avoid unnecessary pitfalls and make decisions that are in our best interest. On the other hand, divine messages also point us toward opportunities that we may not have recognized on our own. These messages might come in the form of unexpected signs or intuitive feelings that guide us toward new beginnings, relationships, or experiences. By embracing these messages, we open ourselves to new possibilities and align with the opportunities that are in harmony with our soul's purpose. Ultimately, divine messages provide us with clarity and direction, helping us navigate the twists and turns of life with greater confidence and understanding. They encourage us to trust our instincts, follow the guidance we receive, and remain open to the messages that are constantly being sent our way. Conclusion: divine messages are essential to our spiritual journey. They serve as guides, warnings, and insights that help us stay on course, make decisions with confidence, and align with our higher purpose. Whether they come through prophetic dreams, intuitive feelings, random signs, or strange events, these messages are designed to help us live more consciously and in harmony with the universe. The more we learn to recognize these messages, the more we can trust the divine guidance that is always available to us. In the next section, we will explore how to better connect with these messages and apply them to our daily lives so we can live with greater awareness and purpose. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into understanding the role of divine messages in your spiritual path. As we continue exploring the significance of divine messages, it's important to understand that these messages often come as warnings. Just as we receive guidance, divine messages can also serve as alerts pointing us toward areas of our life that need attention, adjustment, or change. These warnings can appear in various forms, each offering insight into potential risks or situations that require our awareness. Let's dive deeper into some of the most common types of warnings we might receive and how to recognize them when they come our way. Warnings about life's dangers. One of the most common forms of divine messages comes in the form of warnings about life's dangers. These warnings are signs that help us recognize potential threats or challenges in our relationships, work, or health that need our attention. These signs may not always be obvious, but once we learn to tune into them, we can spot the red flags and take action to protect ourselves. In relationships, divine messages can manifest as a sense of discomfort or unease about someone's behavior or intentions. This could come in the form of an intuitive feeling that something is off, or a series of small events that raise doubts. For example, you may feel a sudden shift in your connection with a partner or friend, and despite everything looking fine on the surface, you might have a gut feeling that tells you otherwise. This could be the universe's way of warning you that the relationship is out of balance or heading toward a negative direction. Trusting these feelings can help you address potential issues before they escalate, allowing you to take appropriate steps to protect your well-being. In terms of work, divine messages might alert you when you're heading down the wrong career path or staying in an environment that doesn't align with your true self. You might start feeling increasingly drained, unfulfilled, or even physically ill when in a particular work situation. These subtle cues are often the universe signaling that it's time to reevaluate your career choices and consider what truly brings you joy and satisfaction. This kind of divine warning invites you to make a change that will align your work with your deeper purpose rather than continuing down a path that leaves you feeling stuck or disconnected. Divine messages also come in the form of health warnings. These can be subtle physical sensations, feelings of exhaustion, or recurring illnesses that don't seem to have a clear cause. Often these physical signs are connected to underlying emotional or spiritual imbalances. For example, feeling consistently fatigued may be a sign that your body is overwhelmed by stress or that your spiritual life is not in harmony. Paying attention to these signals and seeking out balance in your lifestyle, rest, and spiritual practices can prevent more serious health issues from arising. Warnings about wrong decisions or losing our way. Another form of divine warning involves recognizing when we are on the wrong path in life. These warnings arise when we are making choices or living in a way that doesn't serve our highest good. Perhaps we're making decisions based on fear or societal pressure, or maybe we've simply lost touch with our true desires and purpose. Divine messages step in to help us realize when it's time for a change. You may experience this type of warning through feelings of dissatisfaction or inner conflict. These feelings often arise when our external circumstances are out of alignment with our internal values or desires. For example, if you're in a career or relationship that no longer brings you fulfillment, you might feel a constant sense of unease or confusion. This is a sign that your soul is urging you to shift direction. Divine messages may come as moments of reflection, sudden realizations, or even experiences that seem to push you toward making a necessary change. The universe might present you with new opportunities, challenges, or signs that encourage you to reevaluate your current choices and course of action. Sometimes divine messages about wrong decisions show up in the form of repeating patterns. For instance, you may notice that you keep encountering the same types of challenges or conflicts in various areas of your life. This pattern might be a divine nudge telling you that you are not learning from past mistakes or that you're avoiding necessary changes. Recognizing these patterns and heeding the warnings they bring is essential for moving forward on the right path. This warning can also take the form of deep inner knowing. There may be moments when you experience a strong sense of certainty that a change is needed, even if you're not sure exactly what that change should be. These moments are often the universe giving you a gentle push to make the necessary adjustments in your life. The key is to trust that feeling, listen to your intuition, and allow yourself to take the necessary steps, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Warnings about spiritual imbalance. In addition to life's external circumstances, divine messages can also alert us to spiritual imbalances. These messages often appear when we have neglected our spiritual well-being, leading to feelings of disconnection, exhaustion, or emotional instability. Our spiritual life is deeply connected to our overall sense of health and happiness. When we ignore our spiritual needs, we can experience negative physical, mental, and emotional consequences. For example, you may begin to feel increasingly tired, overwhelmed, or anxious even when you are getting enough rest or taking care of your physical health. This exhaustion may stem from a spiritual imbalance, such as feeling disconnected from your higher purpose or not honoring your soul's needs. Divine messages might appear in the form of feelings of restlessness, or the constant desire to find something more fulfilling, but not knowing what that is. These signs are often the universe urging you to reconnect with your spiritual practices, whether that's through prayer, meditation, time in nature, or seeking guidance from spiritual teachers or communities. Another form of spiritual imbalance comes from stress and overwhelm. When we are constantly living in a state of stress, chasing after external goals or trying to meet others' expectations, we can easily lose touch with our inner self. Divine messages might show up as physical symptoms of stress like headaches, tightness in the chest, or trouble sleeping, as well as emotional symptoms such as irritability or sadness. These signals often point to the need for a spiritual reset, to take time for yourself to slow down and to reconnect with your soul's desires. If you are feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, or spiritually off balance, divine messages might be guiding you to take a step back and focus on inner peace. This could involve deepening your meditation practice, engaging in healing activities, or seeking out time to nourish your spiritual self. Paying attention to these spiritual imbalances and making the necessary changes will help you align your life with your higher purpose and restore your inner balance. How to recognize and understand these warnings. Recognizing and understanding divine warnings requires awareness and trust. These messages may come in subtle forms, and it's easy to overlook them if we are not paying attention. Here are some ways to begin recognizing and understanding these warnings. Listen to your emotions. Often our emotions are the first indicators of whether something is in alignment with our true self. Feelings of discomfort, anxiety, or frustration can signal that something in your life needs to change. Similarly, positive emotions like joy, excitement, and peace can indicate that you're on the right path. Tune into your emotional state and ask yourself what your feelings might be trying to tell you. Notice signs from the universe. The universe often communicates with us through synchronicities, symbols, and recurring patterns. If you keep seeing the same number, symbol, or word, or if you experience a series of events that feel too perfect to be mere coincidence, it's a sign that the universe is trying to get your attention. These signs are often messages that provide guidance or warnings. Trust your intuition. Intuition is one of the most powerful tools for recognizing divine messages. If something feels off, or if you have a gut feeling that a situation isn't right, trust that intuition. Your inner voice is often the universe speaking directly to you, offering insight into your life and decisions. Reflect on past experiences. Sometimes divine messages can come through reflecting on previous events. Are there recurring themes or patterns in your life? Are there lessons you keep learning over and over again? These patterns can often point to areas that need to be addressed or changed in order for you to move forward on your spiritual path. Recognizing divine warnings is an ongoing process that requires mindfulness, trust, and practice. As you become more aware of the signs around you and begin to trust your inner guidance, you will find that divine messages become clearer and more frequent. By paying attention to these warnings and adjusting your path accordingly, you can create a life that is more aligned with your true purpose and your higher self. As we continue exploring the importance of divine messages and their role in guiding us through life, it's essential to understand how to apply these messages in our everyday lives. Divine messages are not just signs to be noticed, they are tools that can help us make more informed decisions, align with our higher selves, and navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and purpose. Now that we understand what these messages are and how to recognize them, it's time to discuss how to bring them into practical action. Trusting your intuition. One of the most important ways to apply divine messages is by learning to trust your intuition. Intuition is often referred to as our gut feeling, or the inner voice that tells us when something is right or wrong. When divine messages come to us, they often do so through our intuition. This could be in the form of a subtle nudge, a feeling or a knowing that guides us towards certain actions or decisions. The challenge for many of us is that we often dismiss our intuition, thinking it's just a random thought or an emotional reaction. However, the more we learn to trust our feelings, the more we can tap into this powerful source of guidance. If you're unsure about a particular feeling or intuitive nudge, one of the best ways to start applying it is through experimentation. For example, when you get a gut feeling about a person or situation, pay attention to how you feel in your body. Do you feel uneasy, comfortable, or energized? These physical responses are part of your intuitive guidance system. Once you notice these subtle shifts, try to write them down in a journal. Reflect on them at the end of the day and see if they align with the reality of the situation. The more you practice this, the clearer your intuition will become, and the more confident you'll feel in acting on those inner nudges. Building trust in your intuition takes time and patience. At first, you may feel uncertain, especially if the messages seem vague or contradictory to your logical thinking. But over time, as you continue to experiment with your intuitive senses, you'll start to recognize patterns, and you'll become more attuned to the messages you're receiving. It's like developing any other skill. The more you practice, the more confident and precise you become. Making decisions based on divine messages. Once you start trusting your intuition, the next step is to apply divine messages when making important decisions in your life. Divine messages often come when we need guidance or clarity, especially when we are facing pivotal choices. These messages can help you make decisions that align with your highest good, even when the path ahead is unclear. For example, if you're considering a career change, you might feel torn between staying in your current job or pursuing a new opportunity. Divine messages may come to you as intuitive nudges or dreams that point you in the direction of the job that aligns more closely with your passions and values. These messages might come in the form of a sudden realization, a piece of advice from someone you trust, or an event that pushes you to reconsider your current situation. Similarly, when it comes to relationships, divine messages can help you identify whether a relationship is healthy and aligned with your true needs. You might have a strong feeling that something is off in your relationship, or you might receive a series of signs or dreams that suggest it's time to move on. These messages help you avoid staying in situations that are not serving your well-being, allowing you to make decisions that promote growth, harmony, and peace in your life. When making decisions about your health and well-being, divine messages often come through as physical sensations or intuitive feelings about what your body needs. You might suddenly feel the urge to adopt a healthier lifestyle, start exercising more, or change your diet. These intuitive nudges are often divine messages guiding you toward what will help you feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally. The key to applying divine messages in decision-making is to stay open and receptive. Rather than forcing a decision based solely on logic or external pressures, take time to tune into your inner guidance. Reflect on what your intuition and divine messages are telling you. Do you feel at peace with your decision? Does it align with your deeper values and purpose? When you answer these questions, you're more likely to make choices that bring fulfillment and lead you toward your true path. Practicing awareness. One of the most powerful tools for applying divine messages is practicing awareness. Awareness is about being present in the moment and attuned to the signs and messages that are constantly around you. It involves being mindful of your emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations, as well as noticing the signs from the universe that are guiding you. Awareness also helps you connect more deeply with your intuition and the divine guidance that is always available to you. A great way to practice awareness is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of focusing on the present moment without judgment or distraction. It allows you to tune into your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings with clarity and openness. By practicing mindfulness, you can develop a deeper understanding of your internal state and become more attuned to the subtle messages from within. Mindfulness doesn't have to be limited to formal meditation sessions. You can practice mindfulness throughout your day by simply becoming more aware of the present moment. Whether you're eating, walking, or having a conversation, take time to be fully present with what you're experiencing. This practice can help you notice the signs and messages that are often overlooked in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Journaling is another powerful tool for practicing awareness. Writing down your thoughts, emotions, and experiences allows you to reflect on the messages you're receiving. By reviewing your journal entries regularly, you can track your intuitive insights and divine messages, helping you connect the dots and gain a clearer understanding of what the universe is guiding you toward. Spending time in nature is also an effective way to practice awareness. Nature has a way of grounding us and helping us reconnect with our inner selves. Taking a walk outside or simply sitting quietly in a natural setting can help you clear your mind and become more aware of the messages that are coming to you. Nature is often a channel for divine guidance, and when we open ourselves to it, we can receive profound insights and clarity. Another important aspect of practicing awareness is listening to your body. Your body is constantly communicating with you, and it can be a powerful tool for recognizing divine messages. If you're feeling tired, stressed, or disconnected, these are signals from your body that something needs attention. Pay attention to the physical sensations you experience and take time to listen to what they might be telling you. The more you practice awareness of your body's signals, the better you'll be able to understand the messages coming from your intuition and the divine. Bringing it all together. When we trust our intuition, apply divine messages to our decision-making, and practice mindfulness, we create a life that is aligned with our true purpose. Applying these practices in our everyday lives can help us navigate challenges, make decisions that bring us closer to our highest good, and lead us toward greater peace and fulfillment. The more we trust our intuition, the more we open ourselves to divine guidance. And the more we practice awareness, the more in tune we become with the messages that are constantly being sent our way. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you'll begin to experience a deeper sense of connection to your higher self and the universe. You'll feel more confident in the decisions you make and more aligned with your spiritual path. The journey of applying divine messages in your life is one of continuous growth and learning. It's about developing trust in your own inner guidance, being open to the signs and messages that come from the universe, and staying present and mindful in each moment. By doing so, you'll unlock the wisdom and clarity that will guide you toward a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Stay open to the divine messages that surround you. Trust your intuition, and remember that the universe is always communicating with you, guiding you toward the life you're meant to live. As we come to the end of this video, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. To develop the ability to recognize divine messages, it's essential to understand them clearly. These messages are not always obvious, but by learning to recognize the subtle signs and warnings from the universe, we can apply them in our decision-making process. Divine messages are like signposts that guide us along our journey, helping us avoid potential dangers, adjust our path when needed, and restore balance to areas of our lives that may be out of alignment. When we pay attention to divine messages, we are given the opportunity to make more informed choices, to step away from situations that may not serve our highest good, and to align ourselves with a greater purpose. These warnings are not there to cause fear, but to guide us in ways that protect and nurture our spiritual growth. They help us navigate through life with more confidence, peace, and clarity. The key takeaway here is that recognizing and understanding divine messages is not about waiting for dramatic signs or miracles to happen. It's about becoming more aware of the subtle nudges, the feelings, the dreams, and the synchronicities that are already happening around us every day. It's about tuning into your inner guidance and trusting the process, knowing that these messages are here to help you make decisions that are aligned with your true purpose. So I encourage you to apply the techniques we've discussed today in your daily life. Pay closer attention to the signs and symbols around you. Trust the guidance that comes from within, and allow divine messages to help you make decisions that bring peace and confidence. By doing so, you'll not only deepen your connection with your higher self, but you'll also find greater fulfillment, personal growth, and clarity as you move forward. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with your friends or anyone who might benefit from the insights we've discussed. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos focused on divine messages, spirituality, and personal growth. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your time and energy, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, stay open to the signs and messages that surround you. Trust your intuition and continue your journey toward greater peace and purpose.